We've got pockets of heavy rain moving through central Indiana right now. This is a good time to have our live Doppler 13 radar app on your phone tonight as we begin this Facebook live edition here on this Wednesday night. Great to be with you, my friends. I'm Scott. Angela will be along in a moment to tell you not only about what you will be experiencing in the morning and throughout tomorrow afternoon, but we'll also start looking ahead, as we always do, toward the weekend forecast. Also coming up tonight on our Facebook Live program, the countdown to the Summer Olympics in Japan continues. Tonight, I want to share my experience of sumo wrestling in Japan. I was there pre-pandemic, actually got a chance to get in the ring with a sumo wrestler. You're going to see how my wife did with the sumo wrestler and how I did. We'll let you decide who did it best. And also tonight, Mary Mills has got a great story about a dog who was lost in Florida, ended up here in Indiana. How did that happen? Mary Mills has that story and a adorable piece of video from new Colts quarterback Carson Wentz as he celebrates his daughter's first birthday. It's a piece of video you're definitely going to want to see. But let's begin our evening together with Angela. Angela, we do have some rain moving through. Do we have anything severe out there?
Nothing severe right now, and actually on live Doppler 13 radar, no lightning either. But Scott, I am tracking some pockets of very heavy rain. We've been in and out of the areas of rain north, and we'll go there next. But let's start south and west of Indianapolis. Heavy rain moving through Johnson County, Whiteland, Franklin. It's now north of Martinsville and north of Greencastle. But as I put this into motion, you can see tracking northeast, so Brownsburg, Avon, southwest side, Greenwood, and eventually downtown Indianapolis will be in the path of this kind of area of heavier rain. But again, no lightning with it at this point. We had another pocket move through Fishers. That seems to be falling apart a little bit, coming out of Noblesville, headed across the southwestern sections of Madison County, eventually into Anderson. And this is weakening a little bit too, but they've been dealing with off and on rain. Monticello, Delphi, Deer Creek, Logansport, Peru, to just north of Marion for the last hour or so at least. Let's expand the view. We're dealing with what we were tracking, if you were with us early this evening, that was south of St. Louis. That is now here. And you can see this weather system goes all the way through Kansas City into parts of Oklahoma. In fact, parts of Texas dealing with the threat for severe weather, big time severe weather with golf ball size hail and the threat for tornadoes. At this point, we're not forecasting any of that. There will be some off and on rain in our overnight outlook that will continue into tomorrow. And I keep the umbrellas handy tomorrow, off and on rain in that Thursday forecast as well. But the severe threat will be diminishing, especially as we head into tomorrow. All
right, good to know, Angela. Want to let our Facebook friends know Teresa is watching with us. Tim is joining us tonight. Tiny is with us again tonight. And just want to thank everybody for watching here on Facebook Live. Let us know what city you're watching Facebook Live tonight. Let us know if you're seeing any rain. If you've got questions for Angela about the forecast, fire those away, and we'll go ahead and answer those during the show tonight. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this missing dog. Really a story that I think captivated a lot of interest here in central Indiana. Mary Mills found a story about a missing dog from Florida that ended up here in Indiana. How did that happen? And the reunion between dog and owner is something that you're going to want to see. Here's our Mary Mills.
This is Cass, a beach-loving black German Shepherd. She lives in St. Augustine, Florida, with her best friend, Becca Williams. The two inseparable until April 1st when Cass slipped out a back door and didn't come back.
Live.
Becca knew her well-trained pooch wouldn't run away. Something was wrong.
I was crying. I was so upset. I didn't know what to do.
She spent hours looking for Cass.
I'd put posters up, called Vex, shelters. I was on Facebook.
She heard a dog that looked like Cass was seen at a nearby gas station playing with a woman and her young daughter living in a van. They'd since left. Becca's Finding Cass page was getting lots of traction. She even tried psychics and offered a hefty reward with help from a GoFundMe page. Then, nearly a month after Cass went missing, Becca gets a call from an Indiana woman. A relative of hers living in a van had just returned from St. Augustine with a stray dog. The woman knew the dog had to belong to someone, did some searching, saw the Finding Cass page, and called Becca, who was
ecstatic. There's no words.
While the woman with Cass initially refused to give her up, she finally agreed. Sunday, Becca and her boyfriend left St. Augustine for the meeting point in Nashville, which then changed to Seymour. It was a 15-hour, 850-mile drive that led to this.
I just had chills. I was crying. It was just like the most pure moment I've ever had.
And Cass?
She like jumped on me and she was squealing and crying and just freaking out.
The drive home, the best ever for Becca and Cass.
She's been sleeping. Like this has been for the past 40 hours. This is all she's done is sleep. So I think she's finally like at peace.
Oh, we love that story.
I
Cass
do
finally
too.
back home with her owner. That's a great thing. But boy, a 15-hour drive to come get that dog. I'm sure it was worth every hour spent on the road.
Oh, I'd
Angela.
drive 30 for Chewy, for sure.
Have you ever
In a
lost Chewy?
heartbeat.
I mean, has Chewy ever been missing to the
No,
point where you've lost?
Not longer than, a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
We don't have one of those fancy fences, so we usually have her on a leash. But sometimes
Right.
if we're sitting in the backyard, we'll let her kind of wander. And sometimes she'll wander, a door down,
Right.
a house down. So that's happened before. And
Yeah.
oh boy, the panic that sets in
Oh
is
my
like,
gosh.
oh, it's awful. So I am
Yeah.
so happy they're reunited.
Yeah, that was a good story. We've got another good story tonight coming out of the sports world. So the Colts have a new quarterback, right? Carson Wentz. He has a 1-year-old daughter who had a birthday, and Carson went ahead and put out some video of what he decided to get her. And I want to go ahead and show you a little bit of this video. Check this out.
What do you think?
It's the best reaction ever.
That scream is something else.
I know. So this is Carson Wentz's daughter, Hadley Jane, now has her own ball pit to play in. I mean, she's just loving life in there in that ball pit. And Carson went ahead and posted a series of adorable photos on Instagram from the birthday party, sharing a sweet caption saying he never knew it was possible to love like this, and he loves getting to see his daughter develop her own little personality as the months go by. How about those sunglasses?
Sunglasses are awesome. The bow is awesome. I love the lemon theme to this party. It's so adorable.
Oh, I just love that.
Yeah. Now, the big question is, are you going to get Poppy
Right.
one of those ball pits for her first birthday?
Good question. Yeah, I've got my a first granddaughter who is now 8 weeks old, so I've got some time to figure that out
You do.
before her first birthday. But I will live for the day when I get that kind of reaction from my granddaughter. My heart will absolutely melt.
And your granddaughter actually has a very expressive face already that come her first birthday, wow.
I know.
Yeah, that scream was precious.
I know. I share these pictures with Anne-Marie and Angela every day as my daughter shares them with me, and so it's awfully fun being a grandpa, that's for sure. All right, so our final story tonight for you here on Facebook Live before we open it up to getting some questions and comments from you is talking about the Summer Olympic Games in Tokyo. Of course, we know that the games are now 85 days away. Opening ceremony is on July 23rd. I went over to Japan, as we always do prior to the Summer Olympics, to gather a bunch of stories. And I knew I wanted to do a story about sumo because it's the national sport. It goes back to ancient Japan. I wanted to do a story with sumo wrestlers. So I went into the neighborhood that is known for sumo wrestlers. They've got all the sumo stables there. All the wrestlers are there. It's where they hold the national tournaments. And I went ahead and got a ticket for what's called the Sumo Experience. And it was an opportunity to not only meet the wrestlers, but to learn about sumo, learn about what they eat, how big are they, and then you get a chance to actually put on a sumo suit and get into the ring with everybody watching, of course, and these big sumo wrestlers kind of toss you around. So my wife was over there, and I was over there. We both put on the sumo suit, and I want to have the Facebook friends vote tonight who did the better sumo wrestling tonight, my wife or me. All right, so that's me in the sumo suit. I don't know, I'm embarrassed that I'm like punching the guy. That's got to be against the rules, but
Yeah,
my
obviously.
friend, the sumo wrestler, he just twirls me around, sets me down, and then pretends to fall out of the ring, and I just go ahead and push him, giving me a victory in the sumo bout. So that's me. And again, I'm embarrassed that I was punching him. I don't know what I was thinking there, but I couldn't move him. He's 400 pounds, right?
Well, punching, I'm guessing, is not allowed.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I don't know. You might be Dr. Point there.
I think I would be disqualified.
Okay.
So anyway, that was my attempt with the sumo wrestler. Here's my wife. She's 5'2". She's in the ring with the sumo suit and, going up against this other sumo wrestler who at one point was ranked 71st in Japan. So a very talented wrestler. Again, my wife is 5'2", and so here we go. So now my wife trying to figure out what's the strategy. How am I going to beat this big sumo wrestler? And she decides, oh, I'm going to go under.
Oh, Janae. Oh, no. Oh, Janae.
So he picks her up and just says, come on, come on. And so Janae, doing the best she can to move this guy. I mean, these guys are just giants, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, this guy is easily north of 300 pounds. And so Janae
she got him.
Yeah, yeah.
I think she
just
gets him.
keeps moving, keeps pushing, and finally drives him out of the ring. So the Swans end up both 2-0 in our sumo bouts in Japan. We had a blast. So Facebook friends, who did it best? I think my wife did it best.
I'm going to have to give the nod to Janae.
Let's just give it to her.
Very creative, and she was so impressive during warm-up, doing everything her sumo did. I'm gonna give the nod to Janae, just by a hair.
We wanted to have some fun here on Facebook Live. Now, at 11 o'clock, we're going to go serious with this sumo story because I really do want you to learn a couple of things. We want you to learn a little bit about their training, a little bit about what they eat. You'll be amazed at how much sushi that big sumo wrestler could eat in one sitting. You will be blown away. So wait till you hear that, and then we'll show a little bit more of the sumo bout that I had with them. But you're also going to see what they do in retirement, and they make a lot of money in retirement. So that's all coming up on 13 News at 11 as we continue our journey to Tokyo, all part of our Summer Olympic coverage that begins right here on Channel 13 and NBC. Can't wait.
Yeah, our viewers are accusing you of more WWE than sumo.
Look, guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
And most are voting for Janae at this point.
Yeah, well, she deserves the victory over me. She did a much better job than I did. And so, again, for folks that may be just tuning in here, maybe they've been watching the presidential address, in their hearing about the rain, give people an idea about, again, what the rain situation is tonight and tomorrow.
You got it. And I kind of reset, so I've got radar to show you one more time.
Good.
This is live Doppler 13 radar, and really that heavy rain that you see southwest of Indianapolis is moving northeast. So that's now already on the southwest side. It's into Johnson County. It's across Hendricks County and will continue to move northeast. At this point, nothing severe. Looks to be pockets of heavy rain that may cause some standing water. That appears to be one of the bigger threats. Can't rule out a damaging wind gust, but right now no watches or warnings for us.
Okay, good to know. Make sure you've got our live Doppler 13 weather app on your phone. That way you stay weather aware here, and be sure to join us tonight on 13 News. Angela's got the 7-day forecast. You can begin planning your weekend. Also, we are going to talk about the presidential address tonight before Congress. President Biden talking, among other things, about the pandemic and taxes on the rich, and how this is going to impact things like preschool, how it's going to impact child care and college hopefuls. Our verified team will be fact-checking the president's address, all coming up tonight in about 45 minutes over on 13 News at 11. Thanks so much for joining us for what we think was fun news, good news for you here on Facebook. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock here on Facebook Live. Good night.